try that again. See.
All right, come on, guys. Good practice today. Focus. Come on, focus.
we have in there is ooh. Hmm. Beat them. ATL. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. The Hornets.
It's the 2K Sports pregame show, sponsored by Kia.
Hello and thanks for joining us on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Ernie Johnson here alongside Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith as we get ready for this very special broadcast of the NBA. The fans are filling the seats out in Boston, the site of our broadcast, and where the Celtics will be going up against the Charlotte Hornets. And for Charlotte, just one win over the last 7 games. They're not happy with how they're playing, looking to make amends tonight. One of the guys we'll be seeing tonight is Al Horford. He's been an all-star before, not really a household name though. Does he get the underrated tag from you, Shaq?
Yeah, you know, he's never been the center of attention on his teams, even back in his college days at Florida. But very much a blue-collar post player. He brings it every night.
Well, if you're an NBA player or NBA fan, you know, that really pays attention to the game, you know Al Horford, you know his abilities. But if you're a casual fan, I would say, yes, he is underrated to the casual fan, the people who kind of check in on just on the weekends. I would say they don't know how good he really is.
Very consistent, huh?
Oh, consistency is his middle.
Come on, bro.
Denver, what are you doing, man?
Staying loose, man. What's up?
You know we have a weight room for that, right?
Yeah, whatever, man. I got 8 more days left in this contract, man. I gotta be in tip-top shape.
All right, well, just don't hurt yourself.
Whatever, Prez.
Welcome to the NBA here on 2K Sports, a special Martin Luther King Day edition. This is Kevin Harlan, and by my side, Chris Webber and Greg Anthony. From the sideline, Hall of Famer David Aldridge. It's getting noisy here in Boston. We're at the home of the Celtics. We are nearly ready for the tip-off, but first, let's hear from our very own David Aldridge. DA, it's all yours.
Well, Hornets coach Steve Clifford is always pragmatic. He said you look at what wins in this league and you see the best teams don't give up fast break points. Year in and year out, offensive rebounding.
Thanks, David. He does give a little more leeway to NKG to go to the glass, though, as well he should.
And Charlotte has had some great players come through in Donatil. Not only very talented players, but more memorable players. Guys like Grandmama, Larry Johnson, Muggsy Bogues, just to name a few. Here we go.
And so off the tip, it's Boston. All fueled up and ready to go. Brought to you by Gatorade. Let's check out who's on the floor. On the court for Charlotte, they've got Batum. Roy Hibbert is out there with Williams. It's Jeremy Lamb. And it's Walker in at the 1. Hibbert with the screen. Walker dishes to Batum. Poked away and stolen by Bazemore. From deep three-point range. No good on that one. And Charlotte will go the other way with it. And thinking about past Hornet stars, Chris, who in your mind was the best ever to put on a Hornets uniform?
Oh, man, you have to think about Larry Johnson, Grandmama. You also have to think about Alonzo Mourning is up there for most fans of the team.
And so the Charlotte Hornets get the first points of the ball game. First quarter of play, 1 minute played. Williams kicks to Batum. Here's Hibbert. And fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot 2.
Now, in 2013, the Celtics began their rebuild in earnest. Right away, they made some great moves hiring Brad Stevens from the college ranks to take over as head coach. And also, a terrific trade with Brooklyn, getting 3 first-round picks and the right to swap picks in exchange for Garnett and Paul Pierce.
Bazemore for 3. He's just scored his first basket with that shot, making him 1 for 4. And just a roster note for this game. They have made the decision to bring Denver Levens in on a 10-day contract. Looks like he's back with the team.
And a wrinkle about this story is the rest of the team specifically asked for Levens to return. Even though he didn't play, they wanted his presence on the bench and in the locker room.
And Prez is an active player, clogging up passing lanes with his quickness. And his defensive instincts, remarkable.
And you talk about that trade with the Nets. Looking back, what a trade for the Celtics.
Wow, I forgot about that. Yeah, Brooklyn's run with Pierce and KG was short-lived, and as their fortunes have waned, it's been one heck of a windfall for these guys in green. So many young assets. You knew they had to make some moves just to fit their roster limitations.
Man, fantastic chemistry on that play. You have to admire the unselfishness.
Lamb with the ball. Taking a look at his stats, he's averaging around 9.5 points a game. He dishes it to Walker. Shot clock at 5. Pass to Lamb. They need this. Horford with the rebound. Boston's gone 2 of 5 from three-point land here in the first quarter. Got that one up quick. And it's 8 points for Prez.
Are you kidding me, Kevin? That's just absurd. Prez displaying that smooth stroke from deep.
Hibbert with the screen. Knocks it loose. And stolen by Bazemore. This is DeYoung. Pass to Horford. Kicks it out to Johnson. Johnson the screen. Bazemore with it. He's picked up by Walker. 13 feet away. He clangs that one off the back iron, and down it falls. Horford's got his first basket of the night. Well, we know the give and the X's and O's of coaching, Chris, the strategy that's used by all.
Bring it in. Take a seat. I like what I see out there, fellas. We're playing like we wanted more than them. Now let's stay sharp, finish strong.
I'm standing. I would definitely think from a motivating point of view, I'd have to go with Doc Rivers. He just seems to know how to communicate to his players, how to get them to fight down to the last drop, and that's what you want in a coach.
Well said. Here's what Boston's going with right now. Tyler Zeller's checked in for Horford. Kelly Olynyk comes in for Amir Johnson. And it's Brown in for Crowder. No problems knocking that one down.
Well, when Batum, Kevin, spots a wide-open teammate, he zips the rock to him quickly. Just exceptional vision.
Bazemore inside the three-point line. Young hooking up Prez on that score. Terrific play by Orange Juice.
And those two have such great timing together. They make the game look simple.
The pass to Batum. He tries for three. No good that time. Now the Celtics take it the other way. They are coming off that win against Atlanta.
And if you look at the numbers, guys, I mean, what jumps out at you is the balance they had offensively.
Yeah, it's that unselfish play. Attacking the defense with multiple pieces, they went all in.
Here's Sessions. Following the basket by Justice Young. Outside kid. Gilchrist. Zeller setting the pick for Kid Gilchrist. Now here's Sessions. Looking at his point production, he averages almost 8 points a game. Here's Zeller. Rebound Boston.
He hits it that close to the basket. Usually it's a sure flush, but the defense stepped up and stopped him cold in the trap.
Stolen away. Nice job to interrupt the alley-oop attempt there. Here's Batum. And the layup is good. Batum's got his first points in this one.
And the long legs of Batum, that's what allows him to leak out so quickly in transition. He runs the floor like a jaguar.
Orange Juice connecting on the alley-oop. Great pass and great finish.
And you saw that little bit of eye contact between Prez and Young. They had that in mind the whole way.
Second difference between shot clock and game clock. Sessions with it, and Young picks him up defensively. Zeller passes to Sessions. Can't get it to fall. Bazemore dishes to Olynyk. Here's Young. Takes a big night bounce and goes in. Young's got 9 points.
A sensational focus. Young not letting the D affect his jumper at all. What a gifted shooter.
And as we conclude the first quarter, a one-sided game so far. It's the Celtics up by 12. And we'll be back with you for the start of the second quarter when we return. And speaking with Roy Hibbert before the game, he helped illuminate their defensive philosophy.
You want to guard the paint, and some of that has to do with myself being able to control the paint as much as possible. We want long contested twos. They guard the three-point line, bring them to me. I'll either hit with a straight up, block the shot, or alter the shot. So contested twos.
When you have that sort of focus like Hibbert, that kind of confidence on display on a nightly basis, Greg, you are a game changer, and he does change games every night.
You know, and we saw his skill set and execution develop very rapidly over the course of just a couple years. He worked extremely hard to become the force he is on the interior in this game.
Thanks again for joining us, and welcome back to our special Martin Luther King Day presentation of the NBA. And for the Celtics here, they've been putting on a show, guys.
How good has the ball movement been here? Just absolutely terrific.
Yeah, really unselfish. The guys are in it for each other. I mean, racking up huge assist totals. Love to see the game being played this way.
So on the floor for Charlotte to start this second quarter. Down low, it's Kaminsky and Zeller. Jeremy Lamb out there with Kemba Walker. And it's Kid Gilchrist in at the small forward. Well, let's go down to David Aldridge for a report from the sideline.
Thank you, Kevin. Well, Prez in their last game against the Hawks lit up the floor. He scored 32 points, and in addition to his scoring, he also finished with a season high in rebounds. The numbers in that game make me anxious to see what he can do tonight. Kevin?
David, thanks for the great update, and what a jaw-dropping performance that was, guys.
I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I mean, he's given himself a hard act to follow here tonight.
Yeah, and I think that's the point of it, but I think he likes that. It's a challenge to try to improve upon what was such a spectacular display last time out.
And for Charlotte, Chris, they've taken steps to further their in-house development of talent. This season is the first for the D-League affiliate known as the Greensboro Hornets.
Well, and I love it because now more and more you see franchises having their own D-League affiliate. It helps with the development of rookies and late bloomers. The Hornets have enough young talent on the roster, while having a chance for extra minutes will go a long way for the team.
Well, the league, Chris, as you know, looking to cut down on the hack-a-shack, the hack of whoever intentional fouling down the stretch. Do you like those changes?
Well, I like the fact that the NBA came together and tried to find a remedy for something that they did not want to be a problem for our fans, and that's being bored to death. Watch guys brick free throws. That can't shoot free throws. I don't like the fact, though, that it does let guys off the hook that should be able to shoot free throws. And I don't like the fact that it hides a weakness, but I do like the fact that the NBA came together. I do think it'll address that problem. But the basic problem or the basic solution is kids, free throws are the easiest part of the game to practice. Literally, the easiest. Go out there and practice your free throws so you can go out there and get and-ones and get a three-pointer the old-traditional way.
Great points.
Fantastic ball movement. They're picking them apart with their passing.
Second quarter of basketball, just over a minute and a half played so far. Here's Lamb. Off target with his three. Celtics leading by 13. Smart with the ball. He's picked up by Lamb. It's stolen by Lamb. Falls through. He's now made 2 of 4.
He's a rangy strider, but Lamb able to beat the defense up the court and finish the play.
Thomas kicks to Horford. Johnson outside. Thomas a screen. Back to Horford. In the corner. Smart with it. It's stolen by Lamb. And it's Kid Gilchrist penetrating. The lead now cut to single digits. Kid Gilchrist has got his first bucket of the night.
And to many, Jeremy Lamb will probably always be known for being a piece of that James Harden trade. But he's still a young player and has started to make his way in the NBA. He's shown flashes where you can see his potential.
Now here's Thomas. Quiet so far offensively, searching for his first points of the game.
Wow, and like all great scorers, Thomas never fazed by a little defensive pressure.
Hornets trail by 12. And Walker kicks to Williams. No good from Lamb. And with Lamb, Chris, his game is coming along.
Well, a big step for him was getting out of OKC to a situation where he wasn't looked at as a replacement for anyone. Now he can just work on his game, free of any expectation, and see how far he can go.
Now here's Walker. Following the miss by Avery Bradley. Here's Kid Gilchrist. And Kid Gilchrist throws it down.
And Kid Gilchrist is very skilled at throwing it down. The D can't allow him to get that close to the cup.
Johnson kicks to Horford. There's 1:26 left to play here in the half. Nailed from three-point land. And the Celtics lead by 13. The Hornets have gone 4 of 6 from the field here in the second. Back to Williams. Charlotte moving it around. Outside, Kid Gilchrist. Williams a screen. Clock at 4. Here's Lamb. That one a little long.
And the shots just continue to say no in terms of falling.
Feeds it to Horford. In the corner, Smart with it. To the inside. Here's Johnson. And so he earns a trip to the line. Official saw the contact and he'll shoot 2.
Now, when you think about Amir Johnson, the last ever prep to pro draftee. Now, look, he was taken out of high school with the 56th pick by the Pistons back in 2005. Learning from the vets on that squad, he learned how to win.
Shooting 2.
And that one falls for Johnson. And we're not used to thinking of 11-year vets still having room to grow. But you know what, Chris? That might be the case with Amir Johnson.
Well, it's interesting. I played with Amir. Always a great athlete with high energy, great motor. But he's never averaged more than 28 minutes a game, despite being that highly effective player. That could mean he's had a lot of tread left on those tires. Now, since his arrival in Charlotte, Coach Clifford has been doing what he can to improve the defense of this club. They have seen steady improvement under his watch. It's a big part of why they look to be able to hang in there with any team.
Here's Olynyk following the 3 by Charlotte. Johnson outside. 20 seconds left in the first half of basketball. And it's good. Fought through contact, hits the shot. He'll go to the free throw line.
One shot. And he's showing more grit on the glass. I mean, you like to see that from Olynyk.
And this is his first trip to the line tonight.
And the free throws have been dropping for him at a rate of about 77% on the season.
One shot.
And that one falls for Olynyk.
Yeah, nice job of drawing the contact and creating opportunities at the line.
Here's Kid Gilchrist. His last outing, he had 8 points. He feeds it to Sessions. For 3. He can't get that one to fall. And so we wrap up the first half. Celtics lead by 14. And a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge, standing by courtside. David.
Kevin, thanks. Here with Coach Clifford. What was the biggest problem for your guys in the first half?
Well, you know what? We're a defensive team first, and we've been good defensively. We've been organized. We weren't that in that first half, and that's what we got to concentrate on to get the game going back our way.
See if you revert back to your form in the second half. Back to you, Kevin.
Thanks so much, David, and we'll step away briefly, but get you right back out here for the start of the third quarter after this break.
Keep it up, guys. We have some good momentum. Hey, this is what happens when we play our brand of basketball. They cannot stop us. Do not take your foot off the gas, gentlemen. This is our game. Come on.
Thanks again for joining us, and welcome back to our special Martin Luther King Day presentation of the NBA. We're seeing a tremendous game from Prez.
I tell you what, it's a pleasure to watch him when he's at the helm, because of that first half, offensively, he was in a zone.
Now, you love the intuition he brings to the game and the leadership he provides for his team. It's what you're looking for out of your top playmaker.
Bazemore in at shooting guard. Jay Crowder out there with Johnson. And it's Young, and it's Horford in at the 5 down low. That's who's in the game for the Celtics. Well, Chris, we have a question for you sent in from one of our fans from Todd up in New Hampshire. They want to know what your favorite moment was as an NBA player. A question I'm also curious to know about.
Wow. My favorite moment as an NBA player, very honestly, I would say would be the day of being drafted. I mean, you know, after then you have so many great moments, so many players that you play with, that you play with. It's hard to separate anything without disrespecting another moment. So I just really feel that the greatest moment of my career was stepping on that stage in Detroit at the Palace in my hometown. With my finger up and just knowing that I made it. You know, for all of us, the goal is to make it. It's not about to be a Hall of Famer. It's not about to be an all-star. It's not about to win a championship, even though those are dreams. But you can't do it until, you know, you make it. And so for me, putting that suit on, seeing my father shed tears.
Way to work, gentlemen. Let's go now. Hustle up. Listen up. We have these guys back on their heels. And now they're playing like they're desperate. Remember, you're my Pippen and you're my Jordan. Finish this game like they will.
Technology are ubiquitous nowadays. Clippers head coach Doc Rivers says teams do pay a price. Social media and texting has absolutely hurt chemistry, he said. He recalled his championship season with the Celtics. One of the best things that happened to them was during the preseason in Italy. The players couldn't get a wireless signal, and they had to actually talk with one another. Kevin?
Yeah, that connection between players can make a difference. Thanks, David.
And the one thing I like with the Celtics, you see the chemistry and the continuity, not just on the court, but on every level. Coaching, front office, ownership, they're all on the same page.
Bradley's checked in from Amir Johnson. Now let's take a look at how the shots have been divided up between 3-point shots and 2-point shots for the Celtics.
They are shooting the lights out from beyond on really limited attempts. So you have to think they ought to feed those hot hands on the perimeter and see if they can keep this thing going.
On defense, Boston. They lead by 20. It's the most we've seen. Here's Lamb. And he gets that one to go off the front iron. Lamb's got 4 this quarter. And for the Celtics as an organization, when you have that trust and that common understanding, Chris, that makes a huge difference.
Well, you have to give the leadership some credit, because part of being a great organization is hiring great people and letting them do their job. Ownership and management are involved, but not overbearing. And forward thinking, this is a franchise that is exploring every avenue to find an edge.
Hornets trail by 18. And we're just around 2 minutes into the final half of play now. Here's Hibbert. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up, and 2 shots coming up. Well, who's had the hot hand from the 2 position over the last 10 games? Highest field goal percentages right here on the 2K leaderboard. Prez, number 1.
And he is not a wasteful player. That much we've learned. I mean, he makes the most of the good looks he gets, and if it's not there, he's not going to force a bad shot.
You gotta love him. He's dependable when it comes to shooting. He's never gonna try to play hero ball. Instead, he just looks for the best shots available.
That free throw, no good. A bit of a tidbit about the Hornets. They have never won their division since becoming an NBA team in 1988. That is a long drought, to say the least.
Wow, that is a long drought, and they've had good teams. Plenty of playoff appearances. They have finished second in their division on numerous occasions. They have even had home court advantage in the opening round of their postseason without ever winning the division.
And the Celtics gravitate towards scrappy players. They like guys, Chris, who can carry a chip on their shoulder.
Well, come on. That's been a common thread for this young team. Toughness, grit, and passion. A lot of their players were overlooked in the past, came to Boston, ticked off, and looked to prove a point.
And the rebound goes to the Hornets, coming off that loss against Philadelphia.
And if there's one aspect of the game that really stood out for me, it was the rebounding. Basketball is about possessions, and you saw a noticeable difference in terms of the effort both teams were putting forth.
Yeah, you have to make the effort to gain position, keep position, go harder after rebounds. None of that was happening.
Their third three-pointer in a row.
Hornets trail by 20. And here is Lamb. 9 points in the game so far. And that'll be Charlotte as it goes out of bounds. Hornets retain possession. And the Celtics making a change here. Thomas is checked in. And then for Charlotte, Cody Zeller's checked in for Hibbert. Frank Kaminsky comes in for Marvin Williams. And Sessions subbed in for Lamb. Clock keeps going. 3 minutes into the second half now.
It's a +5 advantage for them in rebounding after that one.
Horford the pass to Thomas. Back to Horford. Now here's Bazemore, defended by Batum. Young against Walker. Just 5 to shoot. Young's shot is off.
You know what? You just cannot get much better of a look than that.
Oh, well, it's a product of good, patient offense. Great shot there.
Boston leading by 20. No one near Prez as he lets it go. And again, Boston with the triple.
And Perez looking calm and collected from deep there, just burying the outside tray with ease.
To the middle. And Batum with the basket on the assist by Walker. Walker's got 5 assists in the game.
They are just killing them on the interior.
Now, here is Young. 9 points in the game so far. The feed to Bazemore. Trying his luck deep. It's rebounded by Charlotte. They'll be playing host to Portland for their next game. That game marks the start of a 5-game homestand, the longest of the season. Again, Batum missing. Boston's gone 4 of 6 from three-point land since the start of the second half. Kaminsky with the double team. Young with the ball. He's picked up by Walker. Crowder kicks to Thomas. That one's good from the corner. Thomas got 5 now.
How about the passing? They are moving the ball without any thought, without any individual agendas.
Doubled by Bazemore. Tipped away. And stolen by Bazemore. 5-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. Good on the shot. And that's 11 points for Justice Young.
How many times have we seen a possession like that from them today? Ending with a basket, coming off a pretty pass.
Batum wide open. He fires. The shot's good. Sessions making the play.
Well, Batum is a volume three-point shooter. If he has any space whatsoever, he's pulling up, most likely connected.
Thomas dishes to Bazemore. From downtown, it's good from long range. Bazemore's got 15 points here in the second half.
Man, they came out smoking here from beyond.
Well, no one is stepping up and making them beat them off the dribble. Until that happens, they'll continue to burn you from there.
And as we conclude the third quarter, pretty much a blowout. It's been a one-sided affair. Celtics out in front, just dominating this one. And do not go away, as we'll be back in just a few moments with the start of our fourth quarter coming up next. Happy Martin Luther King Day, everyone, and welcome back as we get going again here at 2K Sports. Here are the Celtics with the ball. They lead by the biggest margin of the game, 25. On the court for Charlotte, Kaminsky out there with Wood. Then it's Alexis Ajinça. Then there's Ramon Sessions. And it's Galloway in at shooting guard. And the basket by Olynyk.
Oh, just a nice quick release. Olynyk gets it off in a hurry.
And for the Hornets, they're shooting around 40% from the floor here. Now Sessions. There's the pick. Here's Galloway. And the three off target.
And they've got a big lead, not just on the scoreboard, but really in the rebounding numbers as well.
Goes up the baseline. Back to Smart. Celtics passing it around. In the corner, it's Levens. Jacks up a three. That shot missing. And Charlotte will go the other way with it. There's the dish to Sessions. Kaminsky sets the pick for Sessions. And going into this last draft, some new rules allowing college players more leeway, Chris, to test the NBA draft waters. Do you like that change?
I do like that change. I like it for the team, so they get a little more time to examine players and study and see who they really want. And I really like it for the players. You know, this is the biggest decision of some of these guys' lives, and being able to decide if you really want to go forward with it or do you need a little more time or evaluate where you are in the process. You know, I think that's very important, and so I think it's a win-win for everyone.
Yeah, great points. Well, Kelly Olynyk out of Gonzaga, maybe the closest, Chris, we've seen to Dirk Nowitzki when you talk about 7-footers who can space the floor.
Well, he's a 7-footer now, but he grew up playing guard before he had that late growth spurt. You just don't find many players at his size with that kind of shooting and fluidity with the ball. I think his agility at his size is probably the most underrated aspect to his game.
And that one falls for Olynyk.
And Kelly Olynyk, from a basketball family, his father a successful coach, his mother a scorekeeper. He's grown up around the game.
Pass to Galloway. He kicks to Sessions. Down low, Ajinça, and a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for two.
And you look at this Hornets team, there is so much length on the floor at any given time. As much wingspan as any other team in the league. This helps on the defensive end with blocks and steals.
And the first one drops. As you talked about the wingspan, the arm span of the Hornets, slight pun intended. They have it at all positions, though.
Well, and that's what makes them so versatile with their defensive matchups. Kidd Gilchrist and Marvin Williams both have great length.
And Ajinça drops them both. Steph Curry, the first unanimous MVP winner last season, Chris. I heard it suggested that former MVPs should get a vote on who wins the award. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree with that, of course. I agree that players should vote most of the time because they're really out there on the floor and they get to see the nuances and intangibles of the game that we don't get to see. And I also have another idea for All-Star. How about this, Kevin? Three-point shooting contest. After we have the winner of the three-point shooting contest with NBA players only, then the next day we come back and we have the winner go against former winners. You know, just think about seeing Larry Bird out there, Craig Hodges out there, Vashawn Leonard out there.
Yes.
Oh, Steve Kerr out there. You know, I'd love to see it because one thing about basketball, it transcends everything, including age, and the jump shot never gets old. I'd love to see that.
Great perspective. Bazemore gets the bucket.
And really can't fault the D there. Perez just torching them with better offense.
And Sessions kicks to Wood. Here's Galloway, and he banks in the layup.
Great playmakers help everything run so smoothly. Excellent lead pass.
Boston's gone 1 of 3 from outside the arc since we've reached the fourth quarter. Levens kicks to Zeller. He dishes it to Olynyk. Passes it to Levens. Feeds to Olynyk. 4 on the shot clock. That was enough space for Young to convert the deep ball.
And Young can knock those down if you give him the chance.
Down low, Olynyk with the steal. Kicks it to Young. Bazemore for 3. An absolute bomb from three-point range. Bazemore's got 31.
Now look, the D must be on red alert. Perez is cooking right now, and there are no signs of him slowing down.
And Sessions kicks to Galloway. And he can't answer back. The three-pointer offline. Boston's gone 3 of 5 from beyond the arc since the final quarter's gotten underway. And the dunk by Bazemore.
The shooting percentage continues to elevate here in the second half.
They have come out of the locker room with a real fire and desire to get more high-quality looks at the basket.
Charlotte again missing.
He could not have been more wide open. I'm sure he's kicking himself for missing out.
And as we head to the final buzzer here, a crushing blowout. Big-time dominance, and this will go in the record books as a gaudy win for the Celtics.
It was a standout performance across. Look at that.
I tell you, he's playing the game with pure excitement right now.
He capped off that dunk with some serious hang time on the rim. And that last replay courtesy of Kia. And it's off from three-point range. Charlotte has gone 0-3 so far in the fourth quarter from long range. Wood with the bucket.
The offense has clearly kicked into gear. The question, though, is it just a little too late?
Well, I mean, yeah, that's a fair question. Looking at the clock, it appears they might be out of luck.
And just a terrific job of taking care of business in front of the home fans.
Well, look, you always want to give your all for your home crowd. So far, they have done just that.
Galloway with the bucket.
You always hear about chemistry. That's a perfect example, knowing where each other is at all times.
Puts it up for Young.
Just look at how quickly the lead has grown here over the last few possessions.
When one guy gets hot sometimes, it's infectious. The team does too. That's what seemed to happen for them on that play.
We've got a 9-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Wood kicks to Galloway. Hangs in midair and converts on the double clutch layup.
Yeah, and right when you thought that shot was leaving his hands, he reinvents it.
And they can just let the clock run out here.
Cannot argue with the W.
Here's Young. It's deflected.
Now, the length of kid Gilchrist, that's what allows him to catch up with these shots. A sensational shot blocker from behind.
And here we go. Fast break. Levins has got it. The basket drops, and he gets fouled on the shot. One free throw coming his way.
Like that? And you can see the difference with their ability to win with their speed, guys.
Well, they really pride themselves in beating the opposition with their transition game. And they've demonstrated yet again today.
Shooting Denver Levins.
And so it's Boston easily grabbing this one. This game may not have been the most exciting we've ever seen. Appreciate
I know their fans appreciated it, and we saw at times just stretches of excellent defense, potency from an offensive standpoint as well. They were pretty much dominant.
Thank you for joining us. That'll do it for now. For Chris Webber, Greg Anthony, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Have a great evening.
The 2K Sports post-game show.
Kevin, thank you. Superb. And now let's move on to the presentation of our Jordan player of the game, Prez.
Hey, Shaq here. Great night for you offensively. Did you feel you had a matchup advantage on this one? Did you feel he was barbecue chicken trying to guard you down there on the post?
Of course I did, Shaq. Come on, son. Anytime I step onto the floor, there's at least one mismatch, man. If they want to double team me, that just means two of their guys are overmatched. That's just the kind of attention I demand because I'm a natural scorer at the highest level. Kind of like you almost were, man.
Well, thank you for the compliment, buddy. Love you, too.
Hey, enjoy your evening, right?
And that'll wrap things up. Thank you for joining us. For Shaquille O'Neal, for Kenny the Jet Smith, for Kevin Harlan, wherever he might be, and for the rest of the 2K Sports crew, the best in the business. This is Ernie Johnson. Good night.
You know why they can't cut me? I got a good nickname now. Crash.
Crash? Why crash?
I crash parties. I do what's unexpected. Boom, bam, crash.
Oh, all right, Crash.
See? Now if they try and cut me, they're cutting me because they're hating on my creativity. Think about it.